All right, divorce with children by publication. All right, this may be a little bit of a long video because this divorce takes quite a few parts, and I want to make sure that you leave this video with a good understanding of what this divorce takes. All right, so first of all, our fee is two payments, and the pay is $620, and it's paid on two payments of $310. $310 for the deposit to prepare the forms, and the other $310 to turn it into court and finish the case. All right, so the first thing is an intake form. You'll have the link where to prepare, to submit your intake form. And once you submit it to us, what we're gonna need with the intake is the date of marriage, place of marriage, your name, your address, your phone number, your email address, date of birth, and your social. For your ex, we'll need his or her name, last known address, when was the last time you heard about that address or you knew that person lived there, even if it was with you. So if the person left you, you're gonna put your address and that when that happened, and you're gonna put like month and year, or approximate, as to when that person left and you never heard from them again, if that was the case, just to give you an example. All right, so and we'll need the date of birth, very important, of your ex. From the children, we'll need their name, address, date of birth, social, and we'll also need to know where the children live for the last 5 years. So, city, state, and the last 5 years. The reason why this is needed is because the judge will need to establish that he has jurisdiction over the children, and that's pretty much as long as they've been in Florida within the last couple of years. That's usually enough. All right, so the next thing would be financial affidavit from you. We'll need to know your occupation, where you work, how much your earnings minus the deductions, and your household expenses. If you own any assets, if you own, for example, a car, we'll need to know the value of the car, if you own it, if you lease it or rent it. Not rent it. If you pay payments on it, the balance, and how much a month you pay. If you have any credit card bills, so we'll need to know the name of the creditor. We'll need to know the balance of the accounts, as well as the monthly payments. So once we get that intake from you, the link would be, you'll have the link. You download the form. It's a Word document. You fill that out, send it to us. We'll discuss the deposit, get the deposit. Within 72 hours, we'll submit the forms to you to review, and if everything is okay, notarize it and send it to and we'll submit it to you. You send it to us, and then we'll submit it to the courthouse online. Once we submit it, if you are low income, we'll help you get the court filing fee waived, which that can save you $408. If you have any questions about qualifications, you can check our website, or you should have a link down there, but if not, 800-474-1970, and we'll discuss the availability. We'll see if you qualify for the court filing fee waiver. So once the forms are prepared, you sign them in front of a notary, send them back to us, we'll file them. Then we'll get a case number, and then if you're qualified for the court filing fee waiver, the notice of action, which is the publication piece of it, you won't have to pay. But one of the most important pieces of information in this divorce is that we need to submit a good 7 pieces of search from your ex. So we'll need to check DMV records. We'll need to, for Florida, we'll need to check corrections. We'll need to check the military. We'll need to check an online database. We'll need to check voters registration. We'll need to check property appraiser office in your county. We just need to provide so much information. We'll need to prove to the judge that in fact your spouse is not in Florida. If he shows up, and we usually do this before we file the case, like after you have everything signed, all those forms can be used either way. for the next part. If the person shows up in Florida and we show you the address and you agree that that's an address you've never seen before, you know, and it's possible that the person after years, you know, changed their address in the driver's license and changed their address and all these things. If that person shows up in Florida, then the divorce will need to be by summons, meaning we need to get him served. And I know that a lot of times you may not want for your ex to know where you live, but while you would have to have filed for violence, domestic violence or something like that in order to get him not to know where you live. So if that doesn't apply, unfortunately, the paperwork will have the address, whatever address you provide. Perhaps you can provide somebody else's address on the paperwork. I don't know. I have no opinion. But I'm just saying that that's part of the process. He would get served, and then we don't charge extra for this, by the way. If we find him, we find him. And we just move forward with whatever we have to do. A divorce with children for us is the same price regardless of if we have to pivot and get the case finished a different way than we started, because it happens. It you know, people show up when we do the searches. People show up. And if that's the case, we'll let you know, okay, this is what happened. You know, we need to pivot. We're going to have to get him served. You know, and we'll handle it that way. And if we get him served, the person will get served 20 days. If the serve doesn't work, then we can still file it by with a notice of action, which is a divorce by publication. If, let's say, he or she doesn't show up, we'll do the notice by publication. The publication expires in around 30 days. After that, we submit other paperwork in order to push the court to do a hearing for you, and most likely you'll be divorced during that hearing. How long it takes? The publication takes around 30 days. By the time there's a hearing going, it really depends on the courthouse, and because it has to be done at the courthouse that you live, not where you got married, but the one that you live, it's kind of difficult to know. It could vary from 1 month to 3 months, usually. So there's really no telling. It could be 90 days after, it could be 30 days after that you get the hearing. Usually you'll be divorced at the hearing. So that's really, you know, what I always say, you will end the divorce will end faster the faster you begin. If you don't begin, it will be very difficult to get it going through. So, all right, if you're low income, I'll help you get the court filing fee qualified. We're not attorneys. We cannot call the courthouse on your name. We cannot attend hearings with the courthouse. However, any documentation or they tell you anything that you need, you just let us know and we'll be able to provide it for you. We'll be with you until the end of the case, regardless, and we'll never ask you to pay a dime more than what we had already agreed on. Okay? My number is 1-800-474-1970. Let us know if you have any other questions by calling us. And I hope that we get to serve you during this process of your life. All right, take care. Bye.